Okay, so getting started. So you may have watched one of the videos and been like, oh, this guy's insane, but he didn't actually tell me how to actually use this thing or get started or anything. So what you want to do, download the release. It's going to be in a folder with a bunch of configuration files and a jar. There is there's a shell script at the root. It says run rabbit. Before you do that, you probably want to add some databases. I have some like Bigfoot and Metallica data and stuff in there if you want to play around. I have like SQLite databases, but if you want to add your databases, I've tested it out with Vertica and ClickHouse and MySQL and Postgres, SQL Server. I couldn't get, I had problems with Oracle, but I'm working on that. And there's all little quirks with different databases that I'm still working on the SQL layer. But basic SQL stuff should work. The Viz recommendations should work. What you want to do is go in here. There's a folder called connections, right? And these are just little EDN files, right? If I open up like the Bigfoot one, you can see, hope it's not too small. It's just basically a JDBC connection. It's actually a JDBC connection plus using Hikari connection pooling. So there's a bunch of Hikari, options in there. But like, ClickHouse, MySQL, Oracle, Postgres. The only caveat here is that I'm currently still working on the ability to call through to other schemas and databases within the SQL. So if you want it to work correctly, you have to default a database and default a schema. Depending on your database, all JDBC databases do things a little bit differently. But go in here, give it a name, .edn, put your connection info in. And then when you go to start it, when you start up Rabbit, it will go in and it'll see your databases, and it'll go in and do a quick metadata sniff. That should just take a few seconds, getting all the tables, all the fields, no deep metadata stuff at the moment because it's just too costly, especially if you have a huge database. Like, you don't want to be pegging your, Vertica instance that has, tens of hundreds of millions of rows in it, and who's counting distinct on all the we don't want that. So just as a quick metadata, just enough so the UI can build some things. Still starting up. It's running it's getting all the solvers figured out and all the signals, and hey, cool. So we should be good now, and you can see the UI faded into color from black and white. And the console will do this. The console will every 15 seconds will print these cool console bars that I made. Just to keep an eye on CPU, memory, threads. But then, once you're all set up, you can go in here and your databases will be over here. Your connections will be over here on the left. And you can kind of scroll through like, it's my Boston crime. Here's my fields. And then just like before, you can start dragging stuff out and seeing what's going on. You can also drag out these too as well. But I think it's more fun to drag the main table because the main table gives you kind of like lineage, and it gives you, cascading filters, where in this case this is a single thing and that's a single thing. They're not actually related, other than the fact that they're from the same table, but they're not like related in the sense to where they would have any action. Like if I scroll down, if I grab district, obviously we know that district is from this this table, and there's all kinds of cool second and third order effects you can do with that. But and just start looking at your data and just screwing around with stuff and making some visualizations and whatever. I mean, I got a lot of documentation to write. There's a lot of, anyone who's watched at least a couple of the other videos I just did, there's a whole lot of stuff here. Like it's way too overwhelming for me to even, sit down and write the docs, but I'm working on it, so it's been years in the making. Super happy to have this out to people to mess around with. Glad we have kind of like got my own weird version of like, superset meets whatever kind of going on here. But yeah, that's how you get started. Hit up the discussions, open GitHub issues, do whatever. There's going to be this is like a pre-alpha. There's going to be a lot of little funky things, but what I have, I think, is very usable. I posted a tweet the other day about how one of my internal dashboards, this guy, the server stats here that I use to monitor the server JVM was running for a week, and it had millions of updates, and it refreshes every 10 seconds, and it stayed under 200 megabytes of JavaScript heap memory, and like it was just rocking. Like I mean, look at this guy. I mean, this is a REPL console basically that updates every second, right? This is updating every second. This is every 10 seconds. This is every 30 seconds. These are pushed from the server every, I don't even know, 15 seconds, something like that. There's a ton of shit going on here that I wouldn't dare to do in a Tableau dashboard or possibly a superset or like. There's so, I mean, I have such a high bar for stuff that I want to do. The fact that something like this can run for a week and be fine makes me really heartened that this could actually be a thing used in production, right? I mean, there's a lot of really cool tools out there, but how many can you actually like go to work and use, right? Like, you're not going to go to like SpaceX and be like, hey, like I want to use this like weird thing. Like they'll be like, no, get the fuck out of here. Like that's not gonna, it's not gonna measure up. I think this actually has a chance to measure up. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, cheers. Hit me up in the comments. Yeah, thanks for stopping by and listening to this. Hit me up on Twitter, RyRobes, or again, like I said, discussions, comments in the GitHub. I'm around. Let's do this.